Now coming to the very important part, which is NetScaler high availability. So what is high availability? So NetScaler high availability deployment of two Citrix ADC appliance and can provide uninterrupted operation in any transaction. So this is for the redundancy we are configuring HA. So it means we will have a two NetScaler appliance. So one is acting as active and another one is passive. So let's say if this appliance goes down, then this will become a primary and it can connect to the backend so that your users won't have any interruption. So even though if one appliance is goes down, user won't see any interruption. Automatically the connection will be connected to the another NetScaler appliance and it will be served the user connection. The second points, with one appliance configured as primary node and other as secondary node, the primary node accept connections and manage servers while the secondary node monitors the primary. The meaning of this is when you're configuring a HA, one in a primary and another one is in a secondary. So always the primary will receive the user traffic, the secondary won't receive any user traffic. Okay, so the job of the primary is to receive the user traffic and forward it to the backend this way. Okay, and the job of the secondary is just to monitor the primary. So it will send the heartbeat signal at every some interval, some milliseconds or seconds, and if it did not get any acknowledgement for the heartbeat, then this will consider primary is down and it will take over the role of primary, and then it will start receiving all the user traffic. Okay, so this is how it works, HA. So two things you have to keep it in mind. Primary will receive the traffic, secondary won't receive the traffic. Primary will sorry, secondary will only monitor the primary for the heartbeat. If there is no heartbeat, then it will consider primary is down and it will take the role of primary. So the third thing is what are the changes you do on the primary, right? That will only get saved in the NetScaler. So if you are doing any changes on the NetScaler secondary, then it won't take any effect. For example, let's say you're configuring some load balancing thing in the secondary, but it won't save. It will it will overwritten again with the primary configuration. So always whenever you do any configuration, you have to do in the primary. So secondary it is not a write, so it is read only, but primary is read and write. Okay, so guidelines. So what are the guidelines you need to keep in a mind when you're configuring HA? The first thing is both NetScaler should be have same firmware version. Okay, so you cannot have one firmware one version in 12 point 13.1 and another one is 13.0 etc. So the second one is both NetScaler should have a same license. This is very important. Okay, the third one is both NetScaler should have same model. Okay, so you cannot have one model with the 3000 another one model with 1000, or you cannot have one model with VPX or another model with MPX. So it has to be a same model. Fourth point is the primary and secondary Citrix gateway appliance must each to be configured with its own unique system IP address. It means both appliances should have their own NSIP. Okay, in our case, one is 235 and another one is 236. So it should have its own independent IP address for the NSIP. Fourth one is initially all Citrix ADA appliances are configured with the same RPC node password. This is very important. So every NetScaler comes with something called RPC password. So RPC it is a component which is used for the system communication. System means NetScaler to NetScaler communication. So by default it comes with a default password. So you need to change that. So it has to be same across all devices. So if I go to my NetScaler appliance over here, I'm going to log in. So if I go to search and if I type RPC, you have something called RPC over here, right? So always you need to make sure that you change the password. Okay, so I'm going to change the password. Otherwise it will be in a default password which is not secure. Okay, either you can secure this or you can leave it as it is. So I'm not going to secure this at this point. This is a lab. I'll click OK. So click OK and just save the configuration here. So here there is a button like with the icon floppy. So this is to save the configuration. So these are the things you need to keep it in your mind. One is build, another one is version, another one is model, another one is license, etc., etc. So let's configure the load balance. Sorry, let's configure the high availability. Okay. So always you need to make sure that before you perform high availability, you need to do some settings. Okay. So to do that, you need to go to high availability configuration under system, go to the nodes, select the node and edit. And here you need to first keep it in a mind that you need to keep this stay primary. Okay. Then you click OK and save the configuration. Go to the secondary appliance. Go to the same option. Click nodes, select and edit. So the secondary appliance, you need to make sure that stay secondary and click OK. So this is very important. Otherwise, sometimes you will have an issue with the HA. So we need to keep stay secondary and the primary one, we need to keep stay primary. So once this is done, so we need to click on add. Okay. So and then we need to enter the IP address of our other node, which is 192.168.181.236. Okay. And then we need to give username and username here as well. And then click create. So now see it is added, it is showing unknown. So let's refresh and let's save this configuration. As you can see, now it is showing primary and it is showing secondary. If I go back to my secondary appliance, here also it is reflected. It is stay secondary and stay primary. Once you're done with this, right? So you can also monitor the status here at the top. So now once you've done this, you need to go to the primary appliance, go to the edit option, and so you need to select actively participate in HA and click OK. And here in the secondary appliance, go to the secondary and select actively participate in HA. Okay, click OK. So now go to the primary and refresh. See, so it is giving an error synchronization unable to authenticate with the primary RPC node password might have changed or please reset. Yeah, see, it is giving something related to RPC. Let's do one thing. Maybe I have typed wrong password for the RPC. Let's reset RPC, which is 235, right? And click OK. Okay, and go to the secondary appliance. Type search for RPC and select the secondary appliance and go edit. Click OK. Now save the configuration. Now here also save the configuration. Now go back to this and see what is the behavior. So still it is having any issues. Let's see. It is still showing unable to authenticate with the primary RPC node password might have changed. Please reset and try. Okay, let's go to the primary and we'll see any other settings. So because of this, it is not performing the HA sync. So we need to troubleshoot this. I'm suspecting something on the RPC itself. Yeah, right. See, you can see one thing here, right? So in 235, I enabled secure off. I think in the another one is I enabled secure on. So if I go here, see, let's turn this off in both the appliance. sorry, I'll go to the 236. Now I am in 235, so I'll go to RPC node. So anyway, secure is not enabled. I don't know why it is showing as enabled. We'll change the remote node from here itself. So I'll remove this. I'll click OK. So I'll go to the other appliance. The one it is showing on, I will make it off. So now both it is in a off state. So if I go to high availability now, perfect. See, now this is one of the challenging thing we will come across when you configure HA. So luckily we got this error in the lab itself. So we are able to identify what was happening. So the RPC node should have a same password and the protocol should be either secure or without secure. So do not mix it with two options. Okay. So here if I go to my secondary appliance, my HA is showing healthy. So now see, HA is configured, everything is fine. So now you need to know how to do the failover. For example, now my primary device is 235. Now I wanted to failover to the secondary device. So to do the failover, first what you have to do, you need to do the force synchronization. So this is very important. Okay, otherwise whatever the configuration you do on the primary appliance, it may be missing in the secondary appliance. So by doing force synchronization, all the configuration whatever you do on the primary, right, it will get replicated to the secondary appliance. Okay, so if you go to the NSIP here, network, see, though we did not configure SNIP in the second box, right, so automatically it took the configuration from the primary appliance. Okay, this keep it in mind. So everything whatever we do on the primary, right, it will get replicated on the secondary appliance. So now synchronization is completed. Now let's do the failover. Okay, I'm going to click force failover and click yes and click OK. So now let's wait. So it is doing the failover. Here you can see. Now this may become secondary, the one which I logged in. So see, the status changed to secondary. And if I go to the my another appliance, which is 236, it is showing primary. Okay, so this is the this is how you do the force failure. So if you wanted to do failback, same procedure, go to nodes, do the synchronization first. Okay, so let's do the synchronization and then do the force failure. Once, see, it is in progress, so it has to be completed, then only you can do. So now it is completed, do the failure. So it is now you're doing the failback to a primary appliance. Okay, so now if you refresh it, it became primary. So this is how you do the HA failover and failback and how to configure HA. So while upgrading, so one important note you have to do, always upgrade your secondary node first. Okay, so do not upgrade your primary node. So once you complete the primary secondary node upgradation, then do the failover and keep it for 1 day. See, the new build is working fine. So then only on the second day you start upgrade the second appliance. Okay, so this is how you need to upgrade and plan your upgrade procedure, firmware upgrade.